Guam is at a crossroads. On one hand, we have Bill 59, a bill to give bondholders even more security than they already have. On the other hand, we have Bill 73, the tax revenue anticipation note. This Bill 59 is the bomb, Bill 73 is the trigger, and if these bills get passed in the 34th legislature, we're here today to talk about the debt bomb trigger. The debt bomb trigger is what's going to happen when Bill 73 and Bill 59 collide. Now, Bill 73 is the tax revenue anticipation note. And contrary to what the governor has been telling us, it's not a one-year note. It's 3 one-year notes. So that makes it a long-term loan, not a short-term loan. And contrary to what the governor has been telling us, the proceeds and fees and interest will be paid out of the general fund, not Section 30 funds. There's another problem with these notes as well. There's a 10% administration fee on each note. So 3 notes, 3 fees. But there's another problem as well. When you take out the fees, that leaves only $67.5 million for refunds. Considering we have $140 million a year in refunds, we're going to be short $79 million for refunds, even if we take out the loan. So if we couldn't pay the tax refunds without the loan, how are we going to pay the tax refunds and set aside money for next year with the loan? That's the $64,000 question. Right now, our refund payments are far behind the pace that was set last year because the government hasn't set aside money or done the hard things necessary to reduce operating expenses. So we, in essence, are getting a $75 million payday loan. Now, the only reason I can see for the existence of this Tran bill is to generate $22.5 million in admin fees paid for by the taxpayer to some special interest political supporter, as far as I can tell. There's no reason for taxpayers to pay $22.5 million in fees instead of applying that $22.5 million to tax refunds. The worst part about it is the bill is guaranteed by the general fund. The language of the bill specifies that payment, interest, and fees will be paid out of the general fund. And if that wasn't enough, these notes can be converted to general obligation bonds. And once they become converted to general obligation bonds, the risk is even stronger for taxpayers because now those notes are guaranteed by the taxpayers in the general fund, not Section 30 money. So now let's look at the bomb, Bill 59. Already, we have given bondholders collateral with the business privilege tax payments, but giving them more credit, reaching into the general fund, that's the same thing that happened for Puerto Rico. That's why I call it the Puerto Rico poison pill. And we see how it worked for them because bondholders were able to force the government to close down 130 schools and lay off thousands of employees to pay bond payments. And now Puerto Rico still is in a debt crisis, and the Federal Control Board has announced a series of recommended cuts, beginning with closing an additional 300 schools. On top of closing an additional 300 schools, the board is recommending that 75% of public agencies be closed as well. A freeze on government wages, a cut in working hours, a cut in pension benefits, and they're recommending a cut in health care benefits. They're also recommending to raise taxes and also raise fees. The senators are looking at also selling assets like the airport, public beaches, and even the commercial port to raise money to satisfy the bondholders. And now Calvo wants an urgent vote on this $75 million loan so that he can pay tax refunds in days instead of months. The only reason I can think of is that his financial house of cards is beginning to tumble. We have operational deficits in excess of $100 million. All the agencies are in arrears on paying their bills. We're looking at another deficit for 2017. And this bill basically is taxpayers bailing out the governor from his bad policies. So what happens when the governor is forced to write that $75 million check to the financial institutions off island and it doesn't clear? That's when the debt bomb explodes. And as the debt bomb explodes, remember, all the debts as a result of 73 and 59 are guaranteed by taxpayers and the general fund. So the debt bomb will be the trigger that forces the president to sign documents giving Guam our own federal board of controllers right behind Puerto Rico. And as soon as that letter has been signed, then all the government of Guam agencies will have their own federal controllers supervising all aspects of the financial operations of the various agencies and departments of the government of Guam. To prevent that, follow this page. That way you will have the latest information on the actions of the government and the legislature to help protect yourself. Share this page with your family, friends, and co-workers so they too can be informed about what our elected officials are doing or not doing to protect them from the financial consequences of the debt bomb. And act. Make a call, send an email to a senator and tell him no more